Of him now. Madam Louise, can you check your microphone? You are not even talking, so I didn't even know.
Oh yeah, I just saw with the. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. 5 on 5. Yes, thumb up.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, about greetings, ABC of the team this evening. Greetings to our Fako brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, that we are coming this evening to enlighten you, to talk to you as a conversation, not that we are imposing. It is a dialogue between us and all of our brothers, sisters, and our parents. So that as we continue with the program, all of us we shall explain and see the ethical fashion that we want our county, Fako, the capital of Ambazonia, in the next future, in the 21st century, and forward to the 22nd century. We know that there are a lot of things from our grandparents, the changes that has come over time and place. But we hope that by the grace of God, wherever pit we have entered because of immorality of ethics, it will change, especially with our president, Dr. Samuel Sako Ekome. We believe strongly that as we continue this, our dialogue with you people will understand where Fako is going. You will understand how the 22nd century will look like. And you will understand how we are with you together, what we hope and believe that we will improve what our parents in the 50s they did. They acquired their part, but we have to grow beyond that one. But instead of growing, we are regressing. We hope that when after this dialogue, a lot of our brothers, sisters, our parents will embrace us. They will come to us. We will have that dialogue not only here, but physically too, or over the over this line, over the telephone, where, however we can get it. We'll look for a way that we can understand ourselves and our president and the government better than we do now. So, brothers and sisters, Fako, I thank you. Just introducing, it's just an introduction of myself. Yes, I am Molanik, the chairman of Victoria, and a co-administrator in TICO too. So, thank you very much. So, I'm waiting for us to progress. Thank you.
Now we're hearing your name. We didn't hear that from the beginning because I think you were talking, we're not getting you. I didn't know what LGA you came from. So I was trying to ask, are you Mola Luis? But I did not hear that response. So can you formally introduce yourself to the people now, please? Thank you.
I just say, okay, I'm Molanik, the chairman of Victoria, and a co-administrator in TICO too.
Okay, Mola Nick, not Luis.
Molanik, not Luis.
Okay, good. I was confusing that. Okay. Yeah, we're expecting 4 of you on the panel today. We're still waiting for Mandela. We're still waiting for Mola Luis and also Mola Edwin. I would have thought these people will be here today to talk about the great county of Fako. But there are a couple of questions here I would like to just ask first before we get into the real conversation of today. Do you know if there's an ethics commission in your LGA or in your county? Do you know if there's an ethics commission or committee?
There is, though not integrated, but there is.
Okay.
Now, like this, we'll have to even
Um,
push stronger than it was.
okay. Another thing is, if there is and it's not functioning, then we pray that you being here, you'll be able to help to revamp that ethics commission. Why is can you keep your device to be stable? Is there a way you can lean it on something so that it's not moving? Are you holding it by your hand?
Yes.
If you lean it on something like on a computer or something, it will be much stable and will be good. Another thing I
Okay,
wanted to ask is,
I will do
do
that.
you have a copy of the ethics commission? The ethics of the ethics, a copy of the ethics commission, yeah, because
But
that's also something that's going to help for you to be able to operate well. Do you know if you have that, or is that available for the county?
I think Mola Jimmy should have that. Um, but going forward, I think I will ask him, without which I will ask Miley. Let me get it.
Okay.
Listen up.
And the last thing I would like to know, which these are just the nuggets that we want to help promote. If the ethics department doesn't have, then they should try to have it. Do you know if you people have a copy of the federal constitution of Amazonia?
Yeah, we got that. We got that one.
Okay, good. Well, Mola Nick, I don't know how young you are, but one of the things that I have come to admire about the county of Fako, which Tico is part of, an LGA in Fako, is the fact that we are hearing that there was a Tico airport and a Tico seaport. I read that in a class 3 reader. I don't know, advanced primary something something. I read that in class 3 primary school. And I had longed to see the Tico airport and the Tico seaport. What can you tell the people of Amazonia that in the midst of us fighting to return homeland, some people don't even know why we are fighting. Some people don't even, can you tell our people the fact that if ethics was really maintained in Amazonia or by the so-called colonizers, our airports would have not been destroyed, our seaport would have not been destroyed. We're fighting against a barbaric regime that hates us. Yet, but it puts the narrative as though they love us. I have once asked on some of my shows, must you have to destroy the Tico seaport and the Tico airport before you could assimilate us? As Pobia himself said it, that they are trying to assimilate us to no avail. How hardening, how saddening can it be that we wake up to read these things that are no more there because a government that claims that you want to assimilate you destroy? Are this act of weakness? Are this act of greed? Or what do you think had caused this La Republic to destroy these institutions? And as an emerging Fako, what can you promise the people of Amazonia as to this kind of behavior that is going to be a different Fako or a different Limbe, or a different Victoria from the one that we are seeing now that is being ruined? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Victor. Tico, that is where I was actually born at the time. My father was the fellow assistant in Mabeta, and during that time, there was a launch. They had Mabeta in the where you have some the military, the big camp there. in Manawabe. There is a CDC under that they had something they call launch. That launch is just it's a big boat. It's a very big boat because I could see after I up a bit that it is that same launch as my mother was telling me, that same launch that carried up when my mother was pregnant from Mabeta, because the house was just there and the seaport was just there, that at times they transport things from there to Tico seaport. At that time they call it WAF. So the Tico seaport was big. Even as I grew up, and even as we went there, when I entered primary school right there, it was a CDC school at that time. It was no government school. Yeah, so I witnessed all those things. The airport, I didn't. The airport was there. It was not for transportation, but planes are usually they drop when, at least at that time that I was a kid. I believe so strongly that these things would have grown and grew well. It was a source of income. The seaport in Tico was there and it was actually going well. The government at that time, they tried to put that seaport in a standard that met with the economic situation in Tico area, because seriously had rubber at the time right there. There was a lot of rubber and there was palms. So it was there because they had a factory that they manufactured rubber and they exported. Most of those rubbers will be exported in Tico WAF or seaport as we call it today, as we may call it today. So because of some of those things that President La Republique, when they came, they saw some of those things. It was not only Tico Airport or neither the Tico. There were other things that because they saw an emerging nation, the power, the ethics that the people had, their faith for themselves, how energetic they were, their focus for growth, development, and for a better nation that could not match with their own, that they could not match with it. So they had that zeal that no, if these people go at this rate, the way they saw us, they knew very well that, hey, we cannot live with them. We cannot live with them because our GBT at that time, what the money that we were making, the income of that country at that time, after later when I saw it, La Republique, that was almost about 1/4 that La Republique was doing, even at the time that they were independent. Even at the time that they were independent. So there was jealousy, there was greed on the behalf of La Republique, that a neighboring nation, at the time not even independent, but prior to become independent, is even more than economically more than them. So that greed made them to start breaking down any economic activities that was in Fako, particularly. At that time, Fako was the economic basket of Ambazona or Southern Cameroons at that time. I know there was a Manfe. I know that there were those two towns too. But Fako as a county, Fako as a region was the most prosperous. Because everything, even in Victoria, everything was being shipped in Bota. The ship was there. Even as I grew, we usually go there to down shop beside there and go there. Since we live in the service quarter, we're always there. We see some of those things. I saw some of those things, and when those things were destroyed, it was not destroyed because the pretext that we could not manage. It was destroyed because we couldn't that we couldn't do a better thing with those things, that we couldn't elevate it from the from the level at which it was at that time, because they say, oh, because we didn't have money. But them. So it's just because of the preconceived ideology that they have in Terang and everything, that they do not allow us, no matter, they should bring every economic activity. That is what gives you power. The economic activity gives you political, a strong economy gives you a strong political power too. So they wanted to break down everything. And it was not only there was also the Cameroon Bank. Cameroon Bank was giving loans, loans to Saudi Cameroonians. Unless you come, they'll give you 500,000. But in La Republic, they could give only 100,000 or 200,000 if you are a minister. That is how with that loan, that is Niba Oto Mobile in Mutengene came into existence. That is how Nanga the building company came into existence. And they shut down all those places because they knew those were places that employ Southern Cameroonians. It's just that they had problems to do with cities, but they started bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. Even with the marketing board and the cooperative. Marketing board was a very strategic decision because we were an agricultural country, very strategic for our nation, because they had something they call the buffer stock. That most farmers, through marketing board, they help the farmers, cocoa, palms, coffee, they help those farmers. And they keep the prices of those goods stable with the buffer stock that they had. They kept it stable. Even Ajo came and did the same thing. That is why it took a long time for farmers to start crying about prices going to Douala. It was marketing board that was doing everything. They had billions that they kept. When Mr. B came in when he saw that money cash, now they wanted to remove from Kumba. But they did it gradually from Kumba to Victoria. Then they built a good building there. And then that building was for a couple of years. And then they said, no, let the headquarters be in Douala. You don't produce nothing. How do you want to take something that another man's country to your own country and then say that the taxes should be paid there and then you will have all control over that? And that is what they did. When they carried, there was one minister wanted to buy that compound. The whole that thing was for 9 million. Thank God Jalakwan refused that the council would take it over. At that time, he was the government delegate. That which they would have bought it for 9 million. That is the thing that they built for hundreds of millions at the time. So it is just development. They didn't want us to grow. They didn't. That is why we are suffering today. But I want to assure the Ambazonian people that with our president, Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako, look, just see what is happening in Rwanda today. That Rwanda can make cell phones, they can manufacture cell phones. I bet you, just come join with us as partners, family, for progress, development, and for an emerging nation. Our president will change the face of this country. It will change the face of this country. We have not even seen, man have not seen what is ahead. People will see Ambazonia and they will not believe that this is a country that they refuse to give their statehood and they fought for it until they got it. Before Rwanda changed, it was because of the fight that they fought. Because when blood is being spilled, people know the stake. That they know. You cannot play. Be you the president, be you the sweeper of the office, you cannot play. Because the blood of the people have been spilled. And in the realm of the spirit, that blood still flows. That people don't see, except you have another eye to see. So I am promising that it will come to happen.
Thank you so much, Molanik. It's quite an elaborate explanation as to what you rose up as a child and saw. It's sad that every country people talk about a poor past, a past that was disgraceful and um, poverty, lack of development of the past. But it is only Ambazonia in the whole world that its past is better than its present. You can't imagine that. And the world sits and watches. Because you cannot tell me, when I look at, there was an itinerary I saw for flights that left from Tico Airport. I wept that day I saw that itinerary. Flights were leaving Tico Airport to Frankfurt in Germany,
Yeah.
to London in UK, to New York in America, to Lagos in Nigeria, to Nairobi, Kenya. I was like, so what wrong do we do to these people? That even if you wanted to assimilate the people, you have to destroy the good that they had. Ambazonians, this is the program Ethics for an Emerging Nation, and we are here in Fako County to assure you that Fako and the rest of Ambazonia will be a different nation after our independence, or when we restore and fully take control of our nation. Because I am sad to hear people who know this history you are giving us, who know this background, yet they will still be abetting and helping and advocating that we stay with our republic. For what good would that be to us? Of what good have we been for the past 60 years? A country that was better off 60 years ago than now. Yet we were destroyed by the republic. We still have people in Fako. We have people living in Fako. People living in Limbe, Victoria, who are still advocating that we should stay with our republic. It is sad. Where are the airports of the 60s? Where are the seaport of the 60s? Where are the Mondoni oil mills of the 60s? Where are the power camp of the 60s? We are talking about moving forward, not moving backward. Our people in Limbe or in Victoria, if you have been corrupted by the regime, that is what we are stamping out here. That's why we are here, to let the people of Ambazonia know that we want to build an emerging nation where corruption will not be allowed. Nepotism will not be allowed. You will qualify to get a job. You would have earned it before you have a position. Not this thing, people put their own people in position of when they cannot even control anything. When they don't even know the ethics, or they didn't study for that thing. Because there's corruption, because there's nepotism, because there's favoritism. People don't care whether the nation is going forward or backward. It is so sad. It's so sad. Monaredi, can you let our people of Amazonia know what are some of the things that you think, or you in Fako are putting together to see that when once Amazonia is restored, you will begin to put in place so that the ethics of our nation will bring back an emerging Amazonia, beginning from Fako, who is our capital city, our capital county. What can you tell us? We have just 15 minutes to go in the program because we don't have the rest of the panelists. We are not going to keep the program longer than 1 hour. So please, what do you have you can tell us? Thank you.
Thank you. For Fako, the first thing is the ethical mind of the people. That before you become anyone with post or power of responsibility, you must first of all take an oath of office. Corruption will never be in the agenda of the people of Fako. Fako will open its door to all its citizens abroad and for business. They will even help to sponsor, subsidize businesses with good a business plan. They will allocate you that money for growth, depending on your knowledge, how knowledgeable you want to set up. Fako will do that. Fako will make sure that the seaports, both in Tico and in Victoria, will come existent. That all our products around Fako and at large will be exported in time. Jobs will be created. Opportunities will grow. Not our airport in Tico, not only Tico, there's Manfe and there is Bali. Those ones too will come up. They will come up to save the people of Ambazonia. So that you can even add a train. They will try to see how a fast train that can leave the southern zone to the northern zone, can leave the southern zone and you go and walk to the northern zone and vice versa. All those plans will be on the table that we will do to help people. Industries shall come. We will come with partnerships, sign partnership abroad for foreigners to come and open their businesses. Every Ambazonian will have a job. Will have a job. And anyone today, even the families of all our fighters, they shall not be left in the cold. Their families, every family at that time, they must give them a compensation for what they have done. Congress at that time will sit and promulgate laws that will support them. Those that have gone and those that will still be living. Monuments will be built for all our great fighters, those that have left and those that will. The international community, the friendship, the political alliance for growth from the north to the south of Ambazonia shall be endured, so that no side, no part shall be left behind. Administration will come nearer to the people. So that is what we believe that we are sure gonna happen. Every governor in every area must make sure that his people, the people that voted him in power, must deliver for them, without which they will go out. So trust, credibility, legitimacy, honesty must be a backbone how we should go before. And anyone that has embezzled our money now, as we are pushing this thing forward, no, it cannot go free with them. They have to pay back one way or the other. If it is jail, okay. If it is whatever, Congress at that time will stand there. Those decisions will be made. Those decisions will be made. Those who are not supported, because you have a child, and that child, allow that child, when that child is 20 years old, that child is still the same like 5 years old. There is a problem.
Yeah.
Fako now will not be that problem. So that is what I just want to tell my people, that there will be a lot of development in all walks of life. All walks of life. New schools shall be open for technical ability, that they will have training from school to work. Good airport, not a small plane that we have. So I'm just Fako and Ambassador that the 22nd century in Ambassador will not be the one that we are seeing today. Even yes, it will be something that the people themselves have never expected. And I will tell my brothers, some of as you say, that are supporting because they have bribes or this thing, yeah, that they cannot. Even those who say to run for president, you cannot run for president in a republic and you become president. That is just a no-no. You cannot deceive yourself. Yeah, you cannot deceive yourself. So I am advising those of my friends, I don't want to call no names, but in one of our Fako, we are all there. You cannot become a president in La Republique in this condition. It therefore means that you yourself about a decade backward before if the prime minister doesn't have any power, have power? No. Any power depends on the structure that you will work with, not the one that is being teleguided and for you to follow. So
Right.
just come with us and let's work together and let's pave a way forward for Amazonia. Thank you.
Thank you, Molanik. It's just so awesome to hear those promises as to what we plan to do in Amazonia, beginning from Fako. We plan to build a nation that will be an envy of the world. The one good thing about Amazonians is that God has already blessed us. We are very loving people. We are good-hearted people. And we will welcome people from all walks of life into Amazonia. In fact, if I had my way to talk to France or to Macron, this would have been my message to Macron. Macron, take France or take your La Republique nation out of Amazonia, and we can still be good friends and do business with you after we get our freedom. It doesn't mean that we have to be enemies. In fact, we are really talking this thing. Nigeria has more economic ties and more investment of France in Nigeria more than in La Republique.
That is true.
Yet they were not colonized by France. You know, Nigeria was not colonized by France. So these are some of the things that French government should start looking into. Instead of superimposing a weak and corrupt, imagine the most corrupt nation in the world is La Republique. Imagine that. Their corruption begins in every sphere of life. The police on the street, the gendarmes on the roads, the military on the road, they are so corrupt. Look at common something like soccer. They are so corrupt that it will be a ministerial order for a good player to be put on the field. Corrupt in every level, even in common having to go to a medical school, for God's sake, where you need the big brains, the good brains, to go to medical school freely. They still corrupt to go into a medical school. They still buy it. To go into a teacher's training, you have to buy. This is sickly. We cannot live in a nation like this. And that is why the best brain box of Amazonians are all abroad. Because what? Those who did not have the money to corrupt their way into those their institutions, God found a way for them to go abroad. And that's why abroad we have millionaires, we have intelligent engineers like our Center of Communication, Dr. Mongwa. We have doctors, medical doctors, best of medical doctors. We have best of engineers. We have best of IT people. All Amazonians scattered around the world. I bet you we promise the international community that Amazonia will be an envy of the world. If you all can support our quest for free land, we are going to be the most generous and free nation of the world. And we are letting La Republique know you have ruined our nation for the past 60 years, and this is the hour of God. If you like, see it. If you don't like, fight it. This is the hour of God for Amazonia to be free. And our freedom will even help you, La Republique. Our freedom will even help La Republique, because they don't manage what we got well. If we even had our land, had a monopoly over our oil, over our resources, and manage them ourselves, La Republicans will even come and benefit in our land. But it is in the hands of these thieves who have swear their bank accounts in Switzerland and in other places around the world, Why will you make millions and billions of your own money go put in foreign accounts while your own people are suffering? Is it a curse? Is it a curse on Yaoundé? Is Yaoundé curse? The Ngongos and the rest, they have carried Cameroon's money and Ambazonian money and back in banks in abroad. Why people in Yaoundé cannot even have light? They cannot even have water. I mean, their own capital city. I think France should see that, and the world should see that this nation called La Republic is a very lazy set of people. And we cannot be part of this people. We have helped to build their land for all these 60 years, yet they destroy our own. I think it is time for us to leave. And when we leave, it will be a plus for La Republic because they will come into our land and benefit because we are going to manage our resources very well. And so, dearly beloved, we are grateful to have you watching there in home front and around the world. This is ABC Television, Ethics for an Emerging Nation. Our county today was Fako County. Unfortunately, we are always able to have one of our panelists, Mola Nick, on the line with us today. But for further, we believe that we are going to have more of the representative that was supposed to be on this panel today to be with us. Morani, thanks so much for your time. We cannot continue much because we're just two of us. I don't want to belabor you with every question. I think it's a 2-hour program if we had all the 4 panelists on the line. But studio, we are promising the people of Amazonia. I don't know what county we are going to next week, but we pray and we promise that it will be a better show and with more panelists to tell us what they are planning for an emerging Amazonia. God bless you. Thanks again for joining us. See you for another edition of Ethics for an Emerging Nation. Come next week, Friday, 10 p.m. Amber time. Shalom unto you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wonya wotani na wonya ekema monono ewo ikawa ile mavuku liwalini ambe wali kombene yo
akaramia wolo tati wonde akaramia wolo
siko wai kubo ruja he robota ni wonganga etemo mwenge
Papa, j'ai dit merci de m'avoir donné la force et le courage d'enfanter, de relever les défis de la vie. Papa, il était toi dans ma vie t'appartient. Allô, 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 God. Cheka